Hello everyone, it is I, Jack from Jack's Trains, and welcome back to another episode of the brand new Jack's Rail Adventures, a series where I go to all things railway related. And today we are here at the Hopetown Darlington Museum, in Darlington obviously, to have a look around, but also for the World War II Day. So, as you can see, I've got an engine behind me here, but we're going to have a proper look around right now. So with that being said, let's hop right in. So welcome to the Hopetown Railway Museum here in Darlington, a museum which shows off some of the original relics of the town in the early days of rail transport, from locomotives, models, decorations and even interactives. Very much like the Locomotive Museum, another rail museum quite close by which I checked out in a previous episode, this museum is where you'll find some of the original pieces of history from the Stockton and Darlington Railway, alongside various other things to see around. Now if you keep up to date with my Instagram, at JacksTrains43 if you want to drop me a follow. The last time I was here was on March of last year, where I had a brief look around and took some photos of the place. And then back in 2023, I rode past this museum before it opened on my way to Darlington for a train spotting episode on my old railway series. And then a little while ago, I also came here to hop inside Sir Nigel Gresley and Tornado and have a look around their cabs. And today we are here properly to film and explore this site and just pretty much have a look around. So let's head into this historical museum. Okay, so we're in the Hopetown Darlington Museum right now. There's a lot of stuff to look at. As you can see, this is a World War II day, so they've got all Jeeps over here that are on display. A lot of them, and that over there is very interesting. They've got a Spitfire, so let's go take a look at that. Wow, that is crazy. I think it's a Spitfire. It's like a World War II. Get a load of that. That is insane. A piece of history. Let's come over and see it. That is incredible. What a plane. They've got this here, and then over there they've also got whatever that is, an old Jeep car. And obviously all the Jeeps are over there. But it's a nice warm day to be out here for this, but that is insane. A real thing right there. That's incredible. Let's go see what else there is around here. Hopetown Darlington Museum, formerly known as the Head of Steam Darlington Railway Museum, has a rich history that dates back to its original opening in 1975 by Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. The museum was initially dedicated to celebrating the 150th anniversary of the Stockton and Darlington Railway, but over the years it underwent refurbishments and expansions, eventually leading to its transformation into the current visitor attraction we see now. The museum's history is intertwined with the Stockton and Darlington Railway, which was the world's first steam-powered passenger railway. The museum's expansion into Hopetown Darlington reflects its commitment to preserving and sharing Darlington's railway heritage with the public. In the 60s, Hopetown Darlington looked very different, with extra tracks and a lot more open space, and the inside section of the museum used to be the original station platform before being moved to just the outer platform. But of course, the station building itself hasn't really changed, if not even at all. The museum is located on the Bishop Line at North Road Station, just before Darlington and just after Hytherton and Shildon, to which Shildon also has its own rail museum, as I said before, which used to be home to the biggest freight yard in the UK before its closure. And not that far from the museum itself is this old bridge, which is still standing since the very first train to cross it back in 1825, to which was recreated last year on the 200th anniversary by bringing the replica of the exact locomotive that crossed the bridge all those years ago to cross it again. But it's fair to say that a lot of the line has changed since then, with not nearly half as much track or space as there was before. Alright, let's hop inside the museum. So we're in like this one area here. This is where some of the steam engines are. Look at this. I have no idea what class this is. Well, it's number 1463. So over there they got Locomotion, a Locomotion replica. They've got another train over there as well, and an old carriage, like an old horse and carriage over there. I'll get a load of those. whatever these are, like old, yeah, laying tools, looks of it, track laying tools. Here's the replica. They have one of these in Locomotion, the Locomotion Museum, but this is the Hopetown Museum one. It says please not climb the loco, so please keep that in mind. But this one's interesting, and they've got an on-board thing here as well. This is a real good piece of history right here. Let's have a look at what's over that way. So we've got another one there called Derwent, I think, similar. Look at this one. Look at this engine. That's a real good engine as well. So these are like the real old engines here. And you can get a nice little view on this. So if you want to read this, there's some of the history of this engine right there. But what's interesting about this locomotive, it's got two ends, like two, I think this is where the coal goes, I think. And then that is where they drive it over there. So it's a two-end vehicle, which is a very interesting thing. Let's go over this way. Oh my days, what is this? They've got interactive things as well. See, this is the real interesting thing here. This engine. I'm gonna have to get some history of this engine. Oh, we can go down here right next to the wheels. Wow, look at this. So you can see an up close look here at the actual wheels themselves. You've got the rods along here, and the wheel is massive. It reminds me a little bit of the one that's in the National Rail Museum in York, Stirling Single. Reminds me of one of them, but it's not quite the same. Let's go over this way. It says North Eastern Railway here. So this is obviously one that used to run like NLR, all those kinds of, where the Azumas now run. One of those ones. One of the old, I think the Stephenson's Rocket had one of these coaches here. There's a fly. There's a fly on the coach. There's a fly. We've got another North Eastern Railway coach. Oh, is this a Ginty? No, I don't think it's a Ginty actually. No, it's not a Ginty. Okay, it's not. I thought it was a Ginty. It's not a Ginty. It's just the way it looked at the front. But number 39, this locomotive here, this steam engine. So it says Robert Stephenson's and Hawthorne's Ltd. I'm going to have to look up onto that. I don't know much about these two engines here, so I will definitely say some more about that in a little bit. But I'll have to see. But I think that's it. That's in here. So let's go look around some more. So we had a look inside the old North Road station, which is now a museum, and already we could see a lot of things to be spotted. The most obvious being this engine, the NLR 1463, officially known as the NLR Class E5. Designed in 1884 and built in 1885, this locomotive was initially allocated to York Depot and completed a total of 1,343,616 miles in service before being withdrawn in 1927 to sit in preservation ever since then. And then there's this engine, number 39. This tank engine has been many places, from Appleby Steamworks, Gedling Colliery, Steamtown at Carnforth, and is now in preservation since its working days. Not that far away from the entrance is this replica of the world's first passenger locomotive, Locomotion number 1, which I don't need to say much about since I have covered this loco in a previous episode, so go check that out if you want to find some more information on this locomotive. After checking out the now museum building, we headed over to the old carriage works, where there is now a bunch of different models and items to look at, including this model of the original Stockton and Darlington Railway, which honestly was really impressive, and this Scale Electrics looking layout here, which they only had here for the World War II day, which I had to have a go on. So let's take a proper look and see what the old carriage works has now become.
Right, so this is the carriage works now. Let's have a look at the carriage works here. So here they are. The store, well, there's the stores in there, but the carriage works is in here. So let's have a look at what's going on Well, this is the store area. I think the carriage works is actually over there, but we're going to have a look at this area. So they've got all sorts of, they've got all little models up here. They've got model trains. There's a North Eastern Railway one there. I'm not really good at naming steam trains off by heart. I'm more better with like diesels or electrics. Oh, this is cool. They've got a little screen here of the ages of the North Eastern Railway here. So you've got like an old locomotive there, class 37 here. I can't see what this locomotive is there, but you've got, I think that's a B1. I think that's a B1. I don't know. And there's a tornado there, but I can't see what this one is because it's facing behind. But little screen there. That's cool. Showing off the trains. They've got all stuff here, Lego bits for kids as well. Oh, and this is the cool part here, yeah. Right here is a model of the original Stockton to Darlington Railway. All along here, so you can see they have like a little model of locomotion there. All along here, and it goes from Stockton. We've got Preston Park, Eagles Cliff. It's huge. Very huge. Over that side there's just some stuff there that you can look at. You got Darlington branch right there. There's A Cliff where we're based. Newton A Cliff. Starts off there. In there they've got some old little tools for you to look at. And then to the Brusselton incline there, which goes up further there. More little things. There's a little model down there. That's cool. There's a lot of stuff to look at. Let's hop around that way. Well, they've got another model of an engine there. Very old engines. Squeeze past here. I think through there they've got some more stuff. That's more like staff area there. But they've got, oh that's cool, a little wagon there. That's like one of the old horse carriages, I think. Oh, here's the real stuff over here, yeah. They've got the models. This is incredible here. They've got massive models down there of all old engines. And then they've got littler models at the top. See how many of these I can recognise here. I think this one here, I don't know, that might be a 4F, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Some of these look familiar to me, but these are all like older engines, so I'll have to really look in. Oh, we've got a DMU. This might be like a 101 or something here. Class 101. Down there they've got bigger engines. These are huge. I just realised how big these are. There's an electric one on the back. Oh, that's a class 91 back there. They've got a 91 right at the back. You see that yellow end? That's a 91 right there, I think. Pretty sure. Or the back of a 91. Oh, they've got an Airfix model going on over there. Oh, here we go. I think we've got a Britannia class here. We've got a Princess Royal class at the back. There's some Stephenson's rockets over there. They got locomotion number 1. There's a Black 5 right here. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of engines. So many to name. And over there, they've got an Airfix bit going on, but there's people in the way, so we can't really get a good view of that. But they've got like a little Airfix thing going on there. And yeah, the carriage works, I believe, are over there. Let's go have a look at the carriage works real quickly. I think this is the carriage works. This is the exhibition hall. We'll have a look over here. Okay, I don't think there's much going on in here actually. No, there's nothing going on at all in there. Well, that's basically the area here then, just in here. But yeah, that's this little area here. So let's go see what else there is around here, shall we? Alright, let's have a bit of green. That one there, right.
Who else is jumping on the blade? You jump on there, young man? Yeah? So you've got that tank just there. Alright, so when you're ready, just pause. You're going to be nice and steady on those corners.
I've done scale electrics before, so... Yeah, I had a scale electrics track back at home, so... I've got the Mario Kart one now.
Yeah, you have, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, down here. When it went flying into this wall. You know we're going to be doing great tomorrow, right? They gluing. I think it might be hay bale. Oh, spring.
Look at that.
Yeah. In this heat? Yeah, we'll water it.
Perfect control.
Water it,
Yeah. Ooh, knocked it off the end.
Alright, so.
That's so finished.
About the
Oh,
last
this is how
later.
you get the medal. Yeah, where you got the medal?
Yeah, not the last ones, I'm afraid. We nearly ran out.
Whee!
We've got one left after this.
Let's go! Got a medal for it! Let's go! I'll put that on like a champ, me. I want a medal for driving a tank.
So after having a go at racing some tanks, we headed outside towards the locomotive works just behind the main building. And this building sits right next to the main line tracks which run through to the main North Road station, which can be seen from areas inside the site and from the building itself. Which in the early days of British Rail, this building is where steam engines and the first diesels were created and worked on for the London North Eastern Railway for decades until 1966 with its closure due to the demise of steam traction. To which now it sits here at the Hopetown Museum, home now to the A1 Steam Locomotive Trust, where the A1 class Tornado was created, and where they are now building the Prince of Wales, the P2 class.
Alright, so under this window down there is the P2 class, which they're building here at Hopetown in that shed. They've just got the boiler fitted in it, and obviously the P2 class is a very powerful locomotive, but it was replaced. Well, they had to get rid of them because they were too heavy and they were breaking the shape of the track. But down there, they're building a new one, which is going to be basically more friendlier, more better than the original P2 class. But you can see that they've already got last time we came here, because we haven't been here before, they we came here because they had Tornado and Sir Nigel Gresley. You can go inside. They only had the base shape of the actual engine there, but back there they've got the boiler at the back there now, which has now just come in. So a very powerful locomotive. They're gonna get it built, get it up, and hopefully that should be running at some point soon. So yeah, that'll be exciting. So let's get into some history of the P2 class whilst we're here.
The NLER Class P2 locomotives were introduced between 1934 and 1936 to handle express passenger traffic on the Edinburgh to Aberdeen main line, which featured steep gradients and tight curves that made double-heading smaller engines necessary. Designed by Sir Nigel Gresley, the P2s were intended to replace the need for two smaller engines by providing greater adhesion and power with a 282 wheel arrangement. The P2s primarily hauled the 9:55 AM express from Edinburgh Waverley to Aberdeen. However, their long wheelbase and complex mechanics limited their reliability. Between 1943 and 1944, under Edward Thompson, all 6 locomotives were rebuilt into 462 Pacifics as the A2/2 subclass. removing the trailing pony truck and 8th driving axle to address design flaws. These rebuilt locomotives continued in service until withdrawal between 1959 and 1961, with all original P2s eventually scrapped. And now, here in Hopetown, a brand new P2 class is being made with a more friendly base and less design flaws so it can operate smoothly on the rails. After checking out the locomotive works, we headed down this very interesting elevator until we were back at ground level. There was also the 1861 shed, which was at the far end of the site, but I didn't check it out due to time and I wasn't even sure if it was open. So then we headed to the final attraction here at Hopetown, which was this British Railways Class 37 in green. The same Class 37 I saw a couple of times coming here previously, and also the final Class 37 to be built at the Locomotive Works between 1962 and 1964. This locomotive was one of the original Class 37s to run back in the 60s, being put in its original green livery which most 37s had back in those times. So seeing this thing up close and on what is left of the original tracks from back in the olden days is an iconic piece of history from the original days of Darlington and the diesel era entirely.
Right, so here we have the Class 37. This is a powerful British locomotive built for, well, these are icons in the industry because they're still around now. This one in particular is in BR green. These are like built for heavy freight. They sometimes do passenger. You can find some on heritage railways. This one in particular doesn't run anymore, but it's stored here at the Hopetown Museum. But these are icons. I mean, probably one of the most iconic British diesels in the country, alongside like obviously the Class 47s. Built obviously. I'll tell you when they're built in a minute because I can't remember off the heart right now, so my apologies. Yeah, but these are very, very, very powerful locomotives, and obviously they did replace the Class 40s because the Class 40s weren't as reliable. But yeah, these are absolute icon. This one is number D6898, so there is a Northern over there going by, look at that. There's a Northern going by over there. 156. But yeah, so let's get into some history of the Class 37.
The British Rail Class 37 is a diesel-electric locomotive, also known as the English Electric Type 3. Built in the early 1960s, the Class 37 became a familiar sight on many parts of the British rail network, in particular forming the main motive power for intercity services in East Anglia and within Scotland. They also performed well on secondary and inter-regional services for many years. Many are still in use today on freight, maintenance and empty stock movement duties. The Class 37s are known to some rail enthusiasts as tractors, a nickname given due to the similarities between the sound of a Class 37's engine and that of a tractor. So let's take a look inside the cab of one of these powerful locomotives and have a look at what it's like to be in the position of those who have driven this locomotive for many years. Also, shout out to this volunteer who went over all the history of the loco from start to finish. You did a great job.
Alright, we're hopping in. Class 37, guys. Ooh. Oh wow. Hello. Oh wow.
Right.
It's yeah, definitely looks like Class 37.
Yes. So yeah, it's a Class 37 diesel electric, which was built in 1964 in Darlington.
Right.
It was built just along here, Wylam Road. It was the last locomotive built at Darlington before they closed all the workshops down in 1966.
Yeah, I mean these are powerful locomotives because they've gone for many years.
Yes. Still about 60 of them operating around the country on the lines. So this started in 1964. The main workshops at Darlington, they all closed down in 66, which was a massive blow to Darlington.
Yeah.
And the main workshops at Morrison's across the road. And the only thing that remains is the clock on the side of the wall is the original works clock.
Yeah.
But this started work at Swansea Depot in South Wales and worked all around the country. Did work on the while on the King's Cross to Edinburgh Run, carrying passengers. Then it worked for 35 years and retired in 1999, where then it went to work on heritage lines. It did work at Leman Bar on the Wensleydale Railway at one time.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then finished off at Loughborough on the Great Central Railway. Unfortunately, in 2014, it had an accident. The driver and the brakeman finished the work, and they went for a cup of tea. When they came back, the engine had disappeared, and it had gone 2 miles down the track on its own, and crashed into the back of some stationary wagons. Fortunately, nobody was injured, but the damage quite significant to the front. And then it was put in the stores, and when damaged engines are put in the stores, they get raided for spares. So unfortunately, it's taken out all the instruments of the engine. Unfortunately, but in 2021,
No, I mean it's still a.
Network Rail decided to repair it and repaint it, and being the last one built in Darlington, have donated it to the museum.
Well, I mean you got all like, there's all the lights up there.
Yeah.
Interior lights.
Yes.
And obviously that would be the throttle and then the
Right.
reverser on there.
Yep. So it's great that we're back at Darlington. Where
Do you mind if I have a sit down?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Hello.
Hello.
Right.
Oh, hang on.
Look at this. So when was this brought here then?
Since this was bought in 2021,
Right.
and nicknamed the tractor because of the noise it made.
Yeah.
Iconic noise.
I mean, it's painted in BR green, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's original colours. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we're very fortunate to have it back here at Darlington, and again we'll open up for people to come in and see, which we open up the first weekend of every month. So people can come in. Normally it's just on viewing display.
Is that where does the coal go? There?
No, it's
Not top steam.
It's a diesel electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a hybrid car.
Engine would be back over there.
Yeah.
And that would be the walkway you can go down.
compartment.
Yeah.
And then you've got another cab like this at the front, so you don't have to.
Okay. Yeah.
You can have it.
What's in that?
So that's the brakes compressor unit.
You have to wait.
Fabulous.
Fortunately, so the history basically is it was built in 1964, and it was built at Robert Stevenson's workshop at Barham Avenue. Oh, she should have come in.
A lot of it's been stripped off on that. It's normally on display, isn't it?
So, are you from Darlington?
Yes.
Oh, no. So this was built in 1964 at Darlington at Warham Road, which is the widest road in Darlington because of the workshops.
Oh, yeah, we know.
Yeah, Thompson Street, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, nice to speak to you. So this, yeah.
That was the inside of a 37. Very definitely definitely realistic, because I've played Train Sim World and Train Simulator and all that before, so it's definitely realistic in there. But yeah, D6898, one of the last 37s. So there we go. We've been in the cab of a 37 now. Splendid.
So that concludes our look around the Hopetown Rail Museum here in Darlington, and honestly, compared to the Locomotion Rail Museum in Shildon, there's a lot less to be expected here. But that doesn't matter either way, because there is still loads of history to be told and found through each part of the location. Even a park for kids is found nearby, so there's things for all ages. And if you want to grab a few information booklets from the site, you can do so as well from the gift shop at the entrance of the building. So this is definitely a place to visit if you're into your railway history, or just railways in general. But with all that being said, this was a real fun episode and I can't wait to see what's in store next episode. So let's wrap up our time here in this historical museum.
Alright, that is it for Hopetown Darlington. That's pretty much everything here that I could find. So we had to look around the museum itself. We had to look around at all these absolutely incredible World War II vehicles. Got inside of the Class 37, that was fun. Had some history of that. We saw the P2 in the shed, that was fun as well. That was being built on. Yeah, it's funny because the P2 actually, they was supposed to have done it back in 2025, but it's still under works now. They've only just got the boiler back for it, so they've only just literally started building that, but hopefully that'll be out soon and we can obviously see that when it comes back. But with that being said, for now, that is it for this episode of Jack's Road Adventures, and I'll see you all in the next one. Keep train spotting.